Hello viewers, my name is Permal Jagan. I am so happy to be here. My today concept is going to be little different from my earlier concepts. And if I say this is the moment that I've been waiting for so long, then that won't be an exaggerated statement. And yeah, let me break the suspense. I'm going to explain capture the flag. Some of you might know what is capture the flag, some of you might not. And I'll tell you briefly what is capture the flag. Capture the flag, it is a penetration testing practice method where the creator of the target machine would keep the secret string file inside the target machine in a secret place. All you need to do is to analyze the services and applications running on that machine, and you have to find a way to breach the machine, and you have to obtain the maximum possible privilege, and also you need to capture the flag. So I'm just going to explain that today. And if you wish to practice capture the flag and penetration testing, there are bunch of capture the flag machines available on the internet for free, so you can capitalize that, and I'll put the link in the description. I'm just using one of such machines, so stick with me. Let's start the video. Let me introduce my target machine to you. I grabbed my target from internet, one of the popular websites, and the website name is VulnHub. And the beauty of the website is here you can download the vulnerable machines that you want, and based on the difficulty level you will be able to download the machines from here, and it is totally free. So this is the website. So these machines created by random creators. People create their own vulnerable machine and they will upload their machine here. So if you have a machine with moderate specification, you will be able to run your attacker machine as well as your target machine in same place. And my machine is lunch breaker. So this is the machine, and the machine is submitted recently, and you can download the machines from here. You will be able to download the OVA file and the description. It's a box for beginners and can be found in lunch break. It works better in VirtualBox rather than VMware. So you should have a virtualization software to install this machine. And here they mentioned this box is for beginners, but um, when I was doing this machine, I stuck in many places, and to be honest with you, I referred some write-ups while I was doing this machine. So there is no shame of referring that if you don't know something, and yes, finally you are going to learn something new. So this is the machine. I already installed my machine in the VirtualBox, and I have my attacker machine. So I'll be launching these two machines to take forward my video. I already deployed the target machine in VirtualBox. Now I am in the attacker machine, which is also one of my VirtualBox machines. So first of all, I need to learn in what network I am in. So let's see. So this is my network 10.110/24. So my IP is 10.117, and I need to find the IP address of my target. I don't know the IP address, so I had to find. So in order to find that, I'll tell you a utility. It is called fping. So simple, the commands will be simple, and fping -h to get some help. And I'm going to use -a to find the alive hosts alone, and -g to specify the particular IP or a network. Now -a and -G 10.110/24, and I'm gonna flush the unwanted outputs. Diagonal path is like a black hole, so if you put anything into that path, then it will be destroyed. The comment is good. It only take few seconds because my target machine is also in the same network. It is my local network, so it won't take much time. Okay, we got 5 IPs here, and 10.117 is my local IP, and these 3 IPs are belongs to VirtualBox network adapter, and remaining IP is 10.111, and obviously this has to be my target IP. So I need to know more information about this particular IP. So in order to scan this particular machine, I'm going to use the utility Nmap. I already explained about Nmap in my previous video, so you can refer that video. I'll be putting the link in the description. Okay, Nmap hyphen SC for default scripts, SV to enumerate the versions. Fine. Now the destination. Let's see what we've got. This machine is running FTP service, the file transfer service, and the version is given. Note down this anonymous FTP login allowed. So, which is something vulnerable. So, you will be able to log in this FTP with anonymous login credentials. And let's see what else we've got. And the machine is running SSH service, secure shell, and the SSH version is given, and it is also running a web service port 80, and also the Apache web server it is, and its version is given. So this is the details that we have so far. Okay, now we know what are all the services running on that machine. First of all, let's check what is present in that website. And 10.1.1.11, apart from an image, I don't see anything here. It's just an image. Let's see the page source. To view the page source, I'm giving function F12. Nothing is here, but you can see a name, J.Miller and Jane. So we can make a note. Now we are in the index page. We don't see anything. Let's enumerate its directories. So when you see a web service, you can try to enumerate what are all the hidden directories. So that hidden directories might contain some valuable information. In order to enumerate the directories, I'm using the application, the command line utility dirb. And the dirb command is so simple. Dirb and the URL that you want to enumerate. 10.1.1.11. That's it. You can see how fast it is enumerating for the directories. And I found few directories. You can also see the code, the HTTP code here. If it is 200, then we got the response. If it is 403, then you are unauthorized to see that. We have index.html and robots.txt. Let's see what is there in those two files. I think index.html is the same image that we've seen before. Let's confirm that. Index.html. Yes, it is the same page, and we found another document, robots.txt. Okay, I found a statement disallow dirby go buster and etc allow v vc vig. I don't think it is worth the info. As I said in the nmap results, port 21 is allowed and anonymous login is possible. So let's try that. And to log in the FTP, the command is FTP and the IP address. Okay. The credential is username is anonymous and password is anonymous. Okay. Now the prompt changed. I logged in the FTP. Let's see what are all the possible commands. Dir to view the directories. Okay. When I see the directories here, I can see a file and a directory. And the file contains, let's see what it contains. And we can also download this file to our local machine. So here let me create a directory CTF. Okay. Now in order to download, the command is get and the file name. Now it is downloaded. Let me move it to, okay. Let's see what is the content in that file. It looks like some encoded information. So we have to decode this. I'm just copying. I already did this CTF, so I'm just doing it straight away. And this encoded format is called brainfuck. Let's decode this. This is how it looks like. Okay, execute. What it says, look deep into nature and then you will understand everything better. What is nature? Are they saying this? Might be. Function F12, once again inspecting the page element. So in the page I don't see anything. The username is j.miller and the email is jane@funbox8.ctf. The name may be Jane Miller. So okay, so far we logged in our FTP by using anonymous credentials, but it is possible to grab the credentials of the user Jane Miller. So we know the username and we need to unleash our attack against FTP, and we also need a password list to perform a dictionary attack, or you can also brute force. But in pen testing point of view, brute forcing is going to take much time because it is going to uh, try every possible pattern, and apparently it is time taking process, and that is why the dictionary attack is more recommended compared to brute force. If it is secured long password, then to crack the brute force it is like an impossible task. So I'm just performing the dictionary attack. I'm gonna use a file with set of passwords to compare it. Okay. So and the tool I'm going to use is Hydra. So which is used to um, perform some password related attacks. And to I already know the username. it has to be Jane or Miller or Jane Miller. First of all, let me try Jane, and to try the particular username, the flag is hyphen L. Okay, and I'm mentioning the username as Jane. Okay, now you have to mention the password list, and for that use the flag hyphen capital P, and I know which file I'm going to use. User share checklist passwords, common passwords, and here I'm going to use this file. Okay, fine. Now I need to mention my target and the FTP service it is running. I am unleashing the attack against FTP. So now it is attacking the FTP service. Patience is very important. We have to wait for some time. Finally, we got the password for user Jane, and we were right. The name we found in the page element is the username of FTP. Perfect. And it's a poor password, so it cracked easily. Okay. Now all we need to do is log in the FTP with these credentials. And the username is Jane. Okay. We successfully logged in. Let's see what are all the directories present here. I can see a new directory here. The directory called backup. In order to open the directory, I need to use the command cd, the same command. Cd backups. Okay. Now I am inside the backups directory. Let's see its contents. Okay. Oh, I can see a file called keys.txt. I'm curious to know what is inside this. Okay. I'm using cat command keys.txt. It is invalid. Okay. Let me download this file to my machine so it will be easy. Get keys.txt. Okay. It downloaded to my local machine. Let's get in. cd etf. Okay, I got the file here. Cat keys text. Okay, I found two key values. I don't know what is the purpose of these keys, so just make a note. We got couple of keys here. Now let's see what are all the other details present here. I logged in as a Jane. Present working directory. I am in the home directory of Jane. So let me switch to home directory. Okay, I'm just going backward one more directory. I'm in the home directory now. Let's see whether I'm able to see other usernames or not. Hoo-hoo. Here you can see the home directory of other users. I can able to see these directories: Jane, Jim, John, Jules. So these are the 4 usernames. Let's try to get into that folders. cd Jim. Failed to change the directory. cd John. Again failed. Jules. Failed. So I am not authorized to log in their home directories. Okay. Now we have their usernames. What shall we do? We shall again use the same technique to crack the password. nothing different. Okay, Hydra, once again I'm triggering -L to specify the particular username. If you have no idea about the username, you need to use capital L here. So just a small L. I know the username, and the username is let's try for Jim first. Jim -P, and this time I need to use another password file. As I done this machine before, I'm just aware which file to use. But when you are trying the CTF for first time, you have to be careful. Share checklist passwords common credentials, and here I think I need to use this one, 10k most common. Let's see. Okay, FTP 101111. Looks fine. Oh, it took few seconds, just few seconds to crack this password, and the password is so simple. Easy password, 12345. Anybody can crack this. Okay, let's log in FTP now. Jim 12345 10 11 11 Jim 12345. Okay, logged in as Jim. Let's see what this user contains. Dir. Nothing is present here. Present working directory. Okay, let me move to the same home directory now. Whether I can able to log in other users directory or not. No, I can't. Jules, no. Okay, again I'm going to Jim's directory. When I use ls list command simply, I don't see anything, but when I use ls-la list all, I can see few files here. So let's see what are the contents here. The SSH, it's a directory, not a file. The D denotes directory. Okay, CD SSH logged in. Okay. Oh, we got couple of files, but oh, the file size is 0. This file contains nothing. So even if you're able to download these files, you can't get anything. Nothing useful. Okay, now what we do? Jane, Jim, John and Jules we yet to do. Let's do for John. Hydra -L John -P USR share checklist, not a checklist here, it's a word list, and RawQ. This time I'm trying RawQ text 10 target. The attack started. When I was trying to crack the password of the user John, I couldn't do it by using even the RawQ.txt. So it was taking so much time. So I skipped this password cracking process, and I moved to Jules. So let's do the same. Aborting. Okay. Here I'm just changing Jules. And for your information, the RawQ.txt is the massive database of passwords, where you can find multiple passwords which are frequently used uh, by various users. So, which will be very useful. Even if you are using a weak password, probably you will be able to see your password in that file. Okay, I'm just using the text file. Jules, ready to go. It will take a couple of minutes. Let's wait. Okay, the Hydra cracked the password of Jules. It took around 4 minutes, more than 3 minutes to crack this, and the password is sexy lady. Okay, now we got the password of Jules. Let's log in her FTP 101111 and the username is Jules. Password is sexy lady. Okay, now when I use the list command, I don't see anything. ls-la, I can see something. What are these? Let's check one by one. I can see the directory backups. First of all, let me check this. cd backups. Okay, the directory is fully changed. I'm in the backups directory. ls. Oh, when I was listing all, I can see few files here. Bad password, forbidden passwords, good passwords, very bad passwords. Seems to be some confidential information. Let's download it first. Get bad passwords, and you can see the size of the file. The forbidden password has nothing, and also the very bad passwords has nothing. So I'm just downloading these two files, bad passwords and good password. Perfect. I downloaded these two. -la. Okay. Cat bad passwords. Okay. It looks like password file. What is in that good password file? The same. It is also a password file. So we got a list, but we don't know what to do with these lists. Okay. But except the user John, we got the password of other three users. So we already seen in our Nmap results, when I run scan for the Nmap, I can see three services are running: FTP, SSH and HTTP. So far we enumerated these two services, but we yet to enumerate the SSH. We got three users credentials. So why don't we try those credentials to SSH the target? Let's do that. SSH Jane, the first user, and the IP, and the Jane's password is and Jane's password is password. No, I'm not able to log in. So the Jane is using different password for his SSH. And let's try for Jim. Jim's password is 12345. No, even this password is not allowing. Next, let's try for Jules. And the Jules password is sexy lady. Whew, got it. I got into the machine. Now I logged in as Jules. Perfect. Who am I? I'm Jules now. ls-la. I found something here. Let's see. just okay, the same file that we found earlier. I'm just moving it to the user's home directory, present working directory. I yet to crack the John's password. No, I cannot move into John's home directory. The permission is denied. So when I try sudo update password for Jules, sexy lady. No, Jules is not in the sudoers file. So when you need to use sudo privilege, your user ID has to be in sudoers file. So the Jules ID is not added in the sudoers file. So it is not possible to escalate the privilege as of now. We need to gather some information from this machine. This is the only access we have to enumerate some information from a Linux machine. We can use a script called Linux Smart Enumeration (LSE), or you can use linpiece. So these scripts are playing some crucial role in privilege escalation, Linux privilege escalation. So let me try to run that script. First of all, I need to download that script file. I think I downloaded the script somewhere. Perfect. Here, Linux Smart Enumeration. Linux Smart Enumeration ls. Okay. Now I have the script here. It's a shell script. So all I need to do is to transfer the file from my local machine to my victim's machine, and for that I'm using Python HTTP server. Python 3 and -m http dot server, and the port number is 8080. You can define the port whatever you want. Okay, the HTTP server is on now. I'm in the victims box now. So from here, I'm just, let me see first whether we have the wget or not. Which wget? I have the wget utility, so I can download some file wget http, and the machine is attacker machine. So I kept the script in my machine, the attacker machine. So the attacker machine IP is 10.117, and yes, I'm just running the HTTP server in this path. So I need to specify the file name here, lsd.sh. Perfect. Connection refused. I overlooked the port number here. So I am using a custom port 8080. Perfect. Now I downloaded this. Okay, I cannot download the file in this path, so I'm just moving to my home directory, cd Jules. So this is the home directory of Jules. I can download this script file here in this directory. Executing the same. Before that, let me clear this. Okay, now, yeah, now the script file is saved. I'm just making that script file executable, chmod plus x lse.sh. Perfect. Now the file is executable, ls. Now all I need to do is execute the script, and current user's password. Okay, now it started. This script is enumerating this Linux machine for crucial information, and those information might be valuable in privilege escalation of this machine. Let's see. We have to wait for few seconds. I found some crucial information is passing here. You can see it looks like the password hash for the user John. We got something. Let's wait. Yeah, it is done. So I need to move to this file. So the script is enumerated for us and it grabbed this file information. So this is where the user's hash stored. Let's save this hash in our local machine. cdctf. Okay. Nano John's. Now we got the password hash for the user John. Now we got the hash for the user John. All we need to do is to use some hash cracking tool to crack that hash. And for that, we need a password list. And I don't know which password list to use for the user John. But do you remember we got couple of password files? Why don't we use that? Let's try. Now we cracked the hash value of the user John's password. So all we need to do is to crack that hash, and I stored the hash value here in this file. We can use any hash cracker like John the Ripper, Hashcat to crack our hashes. When you use John the Ripper, the command is so simple: hyphen hyphen word list space the particular password file that you need to compare. And I'm comparing two files, good password and bad passwords. And you have to mention the file name here, bad password, and after that the name of the hash file. So when I run this command, I didn't get the desired results because when I was pasting the hash value in this file, I made some mistake, might be, so it was not working as expected. So I'm just simply revealing the password. The password is stored here. So this is what the password of the user John. Now all you need to do is to log in as John. Let me clear the window. John at the rate 101111 and the password. Now logged in as a John. So let's see what we got this. I can see a directory to do. Let's see what to do. And I can see a file here. Let's read. This can be the end. Okay. Install LAMP, install mail system, install firewall, install plus. Oh, see the fifth point. Change root password because it is the same right now. What they are trying to say. Let me switch to root. I'll try the John's password. Oh, I found the system. I just used the John's password here and I was able to log in as a root this machine. Let's see. Who am I? I am the root now. So I have the top privilege over my target now. I can do anything that I want. And let me move to home directory cd Jane. I can move into Jane's directory. Also, home, Jules directory. I can do anything that I want. Ultimately, let's see the password file here. cd etc password. Sorry, it's a file cat. I can read the password file. I can also make changes in the sudoers file. I can reset the privileges. The root in Linux system is equivalent to administrator of Windows. So it has the top privilege and we can do whatever we want. I'm just gonna shut my target now. Shutdown -h now. Connection closed. My target is no longer reachable. Sorry, my target is no longer reachable. That's how you need to capture the flag and you have to compromise a machine. And I should have get a flag here in my target machine, but I failed to do that. But you will be able to get the flag. At the same time, you obtain the maximum privilege when you perform the CTF penetration testing wisely and carefully. Yeah, that's all I had to say. I hope this has been informative for you. You learned something new from this video. I believe that. If you really did, consider subscribing my channel. You can like this video. Also, you can share your feedbacks in the comment section. I'll be replying to those comments. And you can also share with this video among your friends. Uh, yeah, that's all I had to say. I'll catch you up with another exciting video next time. Until then, take care. Signing off.